This one we're going to have a look at the zero values. So in Go, each variable holds a value even if you don't assign one. And if you don't assign one, then the variable gets a default value, which is known as the zero value. And what this does, it means that you don't get any runtime errors for things like uninitialized or undefined variables, because each variable holds a safe, predictable zero value when you don't assign a value. And so in this one, what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the different zero values for different types. Okay, so first of all, we'll look at ints, we'll look at strings, bools, and floats, because these are the ones which are the easiest to guess. And so zero values for these are in order. For integers, here we are declaring a integer variable, but we're not assigning a value to it. And so that will get a zero value, and believe it or not, that value will be 0. So when we print this out, we should see 0 for n. For strings, what we have for the zero value for a string which has not been assigned a value is you simply have an empty string. For booleans, boolean zero values default to false. And for floats, so we have different types of floats. We have float 32 and float 64. I appreciate we've not covered it yet, but we will do soon. But you can think of them both as just floats for now. And for an uninitialized float 64 or a float 64 which is initialized without a value, we have a value of 0.0. Important to know the distinction there. For integers, the zero value is 0, no decimal place. For floats, it's 0.0. Okay, so let's run this. Go run main.go. So we get 0. This is actually an empty string. We see false, and we also see 0 here. And that's just the way my terminal has printed it, but that is a 0 value for a float 64 and not an integer. Now, before we go any further, what do you suppose is the 0 value for maps, slices, and pointers? And a little clue is that we've already looked at it, because in the previous lesson we looked at nil, and nil is the 0 value for those types. So let's go and have a demo of that also. So I'm just going to clear this stuff out here, and we'll drop these in. So here we're declaring a uninitialized slice of integers. Same for a map, and also same for a pointer. So once again, very important to make the distinction between an integer and a pointer to an integer. Go treats them as two different types, and so Go treats this as a pointer because that's exactly what it is, and therefore it will not have a 0 value of 0. It will have the pointer 0 value, and that is nil. So here we're just checking if their values are nil. Let's just go and run this. We should see true for all three, and indeed we do. Next, what about structs? So here we declare a struct type for a book, and then we declare a variable bbook without assigning it. So what do we suppose will happen to the actual fields on that book? And what happens is they actually just get 0 values. And so title is a string, pages is an integer, is read is a boolean. So the 0 values for those are empty string, 0, and false. Let's just go and check that. Okay, so where we see the blank space here, that's an empty string. Then we get 0 and we get false. Okay, let's have a challenge, and this one's more like an investigation challenge. I advise you to have a go at these types, because just printing stuff out and experimenting helps this knowledge stick a lot easier than when you just watch me do it. And then when in future, when you come across certain errors or things missing or things not holding the values which you expected, then you know that you've got that previous experience of having run this, and you're able to spot why things don't hold the values that you expect. Okay, so this is the challenge. Declare variables of the following types without assigning a value, and those are integer, string, bool, and float 64, and then also a struct of your choice, and then just print each one to confirm there's 0 values. So what I'd advise here is just do them one by one, and as you do them, just say aloud or just think aloud, what do you expect to see when you print it out? What 0 values do you expect to see for each value and for the struct for each field in that struct? You can do this, pause me now and give that a go. Okay, so we'll print them all out all at once, but we'll just have a look at them and just say out loud what we expect to see individually. So for an integer, 0 value should be 0. For strings, the 0 value should be an empty string. For a boolean, 0 value should be false. And for a slice of floats, so let's just check. Yep, we said a slice of floats here. In the challenge wording, I may have said a float, but it's actually a slice of floats. Apologies for that. But for a slice, we actually expect nil. For a float, it will be 0.0. So that's those 4 types. Let's have a look at a struct. So for a struct, I'm creating a user struct here. Name should be a string, age should be an integer. And for those, declare the user variable. And then if we go and run this to print it out, so you see we get a space there, that's an empty string, and then 0 for the age. So empty space for the name, which is a 0 valued string, and then 0 for the age. Okay, so that's the introduction to 0 values. We'll be seeing them a lot more as we continue. One of the things which I first sort of mentally struggled with when I first started using 0 values was, why are some given like values like 0 and false or empty strings, and why are some given values with nil? But it's something you get used to the more you do it, and then also the more you use it, the more you see a kind of usefulness in the way that things have been designed.